jump on recording, but I wanted to talk about this whole idea of feeling pushy or feeling like you're bothering people or being afraid of being salesy, because I've been talking to a lot of people on my team and even some people who haven't signed up, and this is the number one concern that I hear across the board is I'm afraid of bothering people. I'm afraid of being pushy or coming across the wrong way. And so there's some things that I wanted to talk about that have helped me a lot in the last year that I've been doing my business. And I know that there are a lot of other tips out there, and we talk in Arbonne about mindset all the time. So there's trainings galore out there, but I wanted to kind of collect a few, because what I've realized is so much of my business is dependent on me. I mean, our entire business is dependent on us. And so this is a mindset thing that we have to grow beyond and that we have to grow in if we want to move our business forward. So the first thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about, okay, what is it that I'm really feeling when I'm nervous about approaching someone, and I realized the motivation behind being afraid of being pushy is actually I'm afraid of what they think. And that's usually that's kind of the underlying issue across, all of the problems is I'm worrying about what the other person thinks. And I've been finding that a lot of us we're afraid to be successful because we're afraid other people are going to, judge us for being good at something they're not, or we're afraid of failing and then disappointing people or disappointing ourselves. And there's just a lot of fear. And I decided a while ago that fear is not a good enough reason to not do something in my life. I mean, unless it's legitimate, I don't know, touching a hot stove or bungee jumping or something. But other than that, if it's not a reasonable fear, it's not a good enough reason to not do something. And so one of the things that has helped me tremendously in overcoming the fear of what other people think is, number one, to not make it about me. And because it's not about me. My business is dependent on me, but it's not about me, right? And that has been huge, because when I make it about the other person, there's nothing left to take personally. And I actually wrote out a little slogan for myself, and I put it above my desk on a bulletin board, and it just says that I provide opportunities for people and I let them make their own decisions. Because as consultants, it's not our job to make someone or force them to make a decision. It's not our job to, to make that for them. It's just our job to present information and to help them overcome hesitations. So there is an example that I was thinking of that I've used in other contexts of brainstorming ideas. And it's this thing of when you present information and you put it on the table, and you present it for other people to kind of look at and poke at and ask questions about, you have to take your hands off the table. Because if you don't, then as people are poking and asking questions or, hesitating or whatever it is, if you leave your hands there, then your hands are going to get slapped and you're going to get hurt, right? You're going to get poked, you're going to get prodded. So present the information and then just take a step back and let them ask questions. Be there to provide answers. But people are going to have hesitations. They're going to have questions. And what I've been realizing is, and I know a lot of other consultants talk about this, but no really just means that they don't have enough information, right? Because we all said yes to Arbonne because we got the facts and we believed in them, right? So we believe in the products, we believe in the company, we believe in the opportunity. So why wouldn't someone else, right? So usually when someone says no, it's because they have their own belief system that they've built up. They think the products are too expensive. They think it's not going to work. They think they don't have time to host a workshop. They think it's going to be too complicated, right? People have all of their own beliefs built up. And so when they say no, they're not attacking us. They're not, it's not us that they're pushing away. It's what we're presenting. And it's just because they don't understand how it can fit and why it has value to them. And then that's our job, is to show why there's value. But then again, it's not our job to make them make a decision. We have to let other people make their own decisions, but we just get to present it. So in all of that, it's really liberating to not have it be about me. It's about serving other people and providing a gift. Arbonne is such a gift and it's an opportunity, but I can't make decisions for other people. And that has been so liberating for me because it's not about me. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing that has been so helpful for me is I started to listen to my self-talk, that little like voice in my head that, a situation comes up and, what am I telling myself? What am I letting that little voice in my head tell me? Is it telling me lies? Is it, encouraging me to second guess other people and what they're thinking? What is that little voice telling me, and is it speaking truth, or am I believing lies about myself? And so I've really started to try and listen to, okay, what am I believing about myself? Am I second guessing people? Am I believing things that aren't true? So there's a book that I really, really love, and it's by, who's it by? Elizabeth George, and it's called Loving God with All Your Mind. And she talks about this concept of, there's a verse in Philippians that talks about whatever is noble and pure and true, like think on these things. And she takes that section of think on what is true, and she says, okay, what's true? Well, what's true is what's real, right? And so thinking about what's real and not reading in between the lines or projecting things onto other people, because she says that when we second guess what other people are thinking about us, and not just taking what they say at face value, then we're actually like making them liars, right? Like if I don't believe that what someone says to me is what they're actually thinking, then I'm actually I'm calling them a liar, really, is what it is. So believe the best about people. Don't try to read between the lines of what people might be thinking, because really what they think about you is none of your business. And I think Miranda Bertram said that. Somebody, one of the NVPs in Arbonne, said, what other people think about you is none of your business. And again, going back to number one, it's not about you. And so listen to what you're telling yourself in your mind. And is it true? Is it real? Is this something that's, actually been said? Is this something that you're actually dealing with? Or are we projecting our own thoughts and fears onto a situation for something that hasn't even happened yet? And something I realized is, I will spend way too much emotional and mental energy on things that haven't happened yet. All of the what ifs, right? What if this happens? What if this person treats me this way? What if this person says no? And then when I actually just do it anyways, then their reaction is usually nothing like what I thought it was going to be. It's usually the complete opposite. And so I am learning, haven't mastered this yet, but I'm learning to just ask anyways, and to not put my answers on someone else or what I think they're going to say, but to, again, let them make their own decisions and not project my fears of what if this happens onto them, because that hasn't happened yet. And we spend so much emotional energy thinking about things that haven't happened yet when we project the what ifs onto other situations. So listening to your self-talk. And then a couple just practical things. If you guys haven't listened to the Mel Robbins training from GTC this last spring, it's available on The Source, and her whole training and her whole concept is counting down and outthinking your brain, or outsmarting your brain, to where when you come across these hesitations of, I don't know if I want to reach out to this person, I'm afraid of coming across this way, I'm afraid of coming across this way, is to just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, count yourself down, and then just do it. Send the text, push send on the phone call, just do it. Because again, half the time or most of the time, the reactions and responses I get from people are not what I think they're going to be, and I have to let people make their own decisions. So just do it. And one of my things that I keep telling myself, again, still learning this, is I have to ask. I never know unless I ask. I don't know what the other person is thinking. I don't know what they need. I don't know what they want. I don't know unless I ask. So I have to ask. And then the last one, so there's a Go for Gold call that I have been listening to on repeat, and it's by Jerry Rosenthal, I think is how you say his last name, but he did a training a couple weeks ago, and the name of the training is Get Over It and Get On With It. And it is amazing, and it kicks my butt every time I listen to it. But he talks about this concept of being afraid of being pushy, or being afraid of bothering people. And he uses this great example of, he went to this hotel and was checking in, and this gal was checking him in, and she was like, hey, if you want to have the best experience while you're in town, you have to go to this restaurant because it's this and it's this and it's amazing. And if you go there, you have to get this because it is the best thing that you've ever tasted. And he says, what he didn't do is he didn't say, you're being too pushy. Could you please stop right now? He was like, thank you for the recommendation. And then he made the decision whether he would go there or not. But all she was doing was recommending an experience that she really believed in and enjoyed and thought would add value to his experience. And that is all we're doing in Arbonne, as well as we're recommending things. We're recommending an opportunity. We're recommending products. And other people get to make their decisions, and it's not being pushy, it's offering a gift. And so one of the things that Jerry talks about in his call that I'm like, oh my gosh, ouch, like that stings a little bit, is he says we have to get over the fear of being pushy and the fear of bothering people, because we're not bothering people. He says, unless, if you're texting one person 3 times every day for 3 weeks, like, okay, you might be pushy, but anything shy of that, you're not. We're reminding other people what we have available. We're offering gifts, and no one else is thinking about your Arbonne business as much as you are. Like, they're not thinking about it. And so if anything, texting them, following up with them is a helpful reminder, because they're not thinking about it, right? We are all so busy. Think about where you were before Arbonne, and was Arbonne on the front of your mind? Probably not. It's on the forefront of my mind, which is why Chanel's here and Grace is here, because I kept bothering them about it. I kept bothering you, right, about it, but you didn't say no. You didn't push me away. And why? Because you saw the value in it, and eventually you believed in the products, and you believed in the opportunity. And so something that I've been realizing, again, is if I am hesitant to reach out to someone, or I'm hesitant to offer something, then what it really means is I don't believe enough in the product, I don't believe enough in the opportunity, or I don't believe enough in my own why story. Because remember, we have why as why are we doing this? What is the why behind what you're doing? And at some point we have to decide that the why is more important than the fear and the why not. And we have to move forward and kind of get over ourselves and move forward even in spite of fear, because the why is worth it. And we have to believe in what we're doing, because if we don't, then fear is going to win every single time. Like, if our why is not bigger than the why not, then the why not is going to win every single time. So those are things that I have found that have been so helpful to me in moving past being pushy, and sometimes I'm still afraid of it. I'm still like, I don't want to talk to this person because I'm afraid of what they're going to think. But usually when I reach out to them, it's not what I expect, and they're usually really open. And if they're not, then it's okay. Like, I had a text. I reached out to a gal today who was the client of a gal who started her business and then stopped after like a month and like dropped off the face of the map. So I reached out to one of her clients and was like, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you. I know we never actually got this scheduled, but I'd love to still get you an amazing discount and bless your friends with a spa night. Do you want to book something for October or November? And she was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested at this time. And I didn't just stop at the no thank you, because there was a second part to her text, and it was at this time. And so I picked up on that and I said, can I, ask you again in the future? And she said, yeah, that would be okay. So we moved from beyond a no to maybe, which is still progress, and that's still something to celebrate. And so I'm celebrating that today, that I moved with the gal from a no to, maybe in the future. So again, you never know unless you ask. So those are my tips, and those are my helpful things. So Kim or Leah, do you guys have anything that you want to chime in on the topic of being pushy? Leah? Yeah, somebody? You can unmute yourself.
I don't know. I think you hit all the points. I mean, that was really good. Thanks. No, I thought that was amazing. Yeah, that was super awesome. The only thing that I could think about earlier today when I was thinking about, like, oh my gosh, I realized that when I'm hesitant or I'm fearful of asking somebody, I forget that Arbonne's a gift. I think that's the biggest thing of all, is like just my mindset around it. Because then I'm focusing on myself, and just like you said earlier, it's about other people. And so I just realized, oh my gosh, this is a gift, and why am I hesitant about this? Because as soon as it becomes oh, this is a business. I have to make money. I have to grow my team. I have to do this. I have to do that, and all that other stuff. Yeah, we have goals and we have visions and dreams and all that kind of stuff. But then it becomes not the amazing. And Kim and I were just talking about this the other day. Like, this is so fun. This business is so fun and exciting to do. Like, the fact that I get to be around some of my favorite women and get to talk to my favorite woman, you know, in different states and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's cool. And so just keeping it simple, keeping it fun, and remembering that this is a gift. Like, this is so cool that I get to do this. And so as soon as my mind goes up, like, oh, I got to run my business, I got to do this, and I'm, you know, I need to reach out to this person, like, that's not the gift anymore. And so we're missing the mark, we're missing the point, and we just have to share the gift, because as soon as it's like, oh, I'm setting up this business meeting, and yeah, obviously, like, we're professionals, but getting to the point of sitting at a table, having a one-on-one conversation with someone and casting that vision, like, that's why they say yes, because at some point someone understands the vision, they understand the gift. And so if they're saying no to you, it's because they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to what they think Arbonne is. They're saying no to what their idea of it is. Mm-hmm. And if it's not a fit for them at that time, it's not a fit for them. But until they can understand the vision and the gift of Arbonne, that's when people say yes. And so most people, when you ask them, well, why did you jump in? You know, it's not like, well, I see, like, you know, all this money in my future and, you know, all this, my life changing in this way. It's like, I see the vision of Arbonne and how big it is, how big it really could be for my life. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I love hearing from you girls. And yes, Arbonne is so fun. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the only other things, gosh, you guys have nailed it so well. I think it is just so important to keep your belief crazy high. Because when your cup is overflowing, you know, just like you're going to feel, hopefully, you know, when, you know, after hearing from Corinne and hearing from Leah, is, you know, you're going, oh my gosh, yeah, this is great. You know, so, you know, same thing, you know, when you have these other mentors, you know, they don't need to be a part of your upline, you know, they don't need to be in your organization, anything. You know, our mentors can be, you know, just people anywhere, you know, in Arbonne. And I think it's so important, you know, to just make sure that those voices, you know, and I'm sure, Corinne, you're thinking, and I was thinking as I was hearing you say different things like, oh my gosh, you know, I've heard that from this training, I've heard that from this one. And that's what we get to do in this business. That's what one of the perks is of having a company that's 38 years old, is we've had these amazing trailblazers to go first and show us how to do this, go and share with other people, you know, what to do. So keeping your beliefs so incredibly high. So how do you do that? Calls, listen to trainings, just make that a absolute non-negotiable. I promise, no matter where you're at in your business, if you keep that Arbonne love cup full, and as a mom, I always equate that to, you know, kids and just people in general, you know, when we go through things that are a little bit harder, or when we hear a no, or, you know, it's, if your Arbonne cup and your belief, you know, it's all super full, it's not going to hurt. If you're like, you know, about how things are going, and then the one person you finally reached out to, you know, said no, they don't want to take a look, or no, they don't want to be part of your business, it's going to hurt a lot worse, as opposed to being like Corinne said, you know, you're offering a gift and it's okay. And then really being clear and understanding that the truth of the matter is majority of people are going to say no the first 4 times. So that kind of feels, you know, I always felt like, oh, that kind of takes the pressure off. Like, let's just get the ball rolling. You know, if it's going to take 4 to 6 exposures, oh, sorry, my dog wants to come say hi. 4 to 6 exposures to, you know, have someone jump on board and be ready, because oftentimes those are the people that are ready because they've heard so much more, as opposed so sorry about that. Got a phone call. As opposed to those people that have heard about it once, are like, oh yeah, I'm ready to, you know, to do this. And they don't really know what Arbonne's about, you know? So, you know, we want people to be educated. We don't want to leave a meeting and go, oh yeah, I got one, you know, like that's not what we do. We want people to feel really great about this, and if it's the right time for them, and that's not up to us. So you, like Corinne said, it's so liberating, to feel that I just offered this because I know what look at how the success in Arbonne, and now everything with Group Rocher, who bought Arbonne. I mean, it's just like, it's incredible, what's going on. So this company just keeps getting better and better. And so yeah, keep that. It just helps. I remember, I've moved a lot in my Arbonne business, almost 4 years in Arbonne. But I didn't have this in my last house, but I had this big plaque up in my kitchen. Of course, that's where I live with 3 kids, of course, that said, "Replace fear with love." And every day, to go, because it's fear. Of course it's fear. It's fear what people think, like all the above. So, it's love, just love others and go share, and understanding that this is what we do. And if we don't go through these struggles and we don't overcome them, then we won't be able to go and teach other people to be able to do the exact same thing. So that's the great thing about when we have those moments and go, "Oh, I'm super scared," and then they do it anyway, is you get to then share that with someone else. And that I understand. I felt the exact same way, and this is what happened when I made it through that. And if you don't ever feel that way, you're not going to be a great teacher. And that's what we do in Arbonne. We educate and we empower people. We cast the vision for them. So just keep your beliefs super high, and that's kind of my piece I wanted to add. And just the big vision, and this was actually at church this weekend. I'm sure you guys can agree, Leah and Corinne and Grace too, that every week at church and just whenever, it just all ties together and ties with our Arbonne business. And, it's just funny, even my husband's just like, "This is so funny to you." I'm like, "I know, I love it so much." But, the big vision, and it was talking about like, little things, and how in life we can let little things bother us instead of remembering the big vision. Like, do we really need to fight about that? And in heavenly places, we're probably not going to be worried about those things. And same thing, we understand that in Arbonne, it's going to take a whole lot of no's and a whole lot of asks in order to really affect a lot of people, and to, get to where we want to be in Arbonne, to get to that uncomfortable place. So uncomfortable, good place. So I just encourage you to be kind of excited when you start hearing those, like, "Oh, good. Yeah, the road to success is paved with people getting lots of no's and lots of, but as far as fearing, being pushy, I love this training from Cecilia Stoll, the #1 income earner in Arbonne. Oh my goodness. She's hilarious, but it said, if you're worried about being pushy, you don't have to worry, because pushy people, that's not a fear that they have, because they're pushy. They don't worry about that. So if you have that concern, you're never going to come off pushy. So just you, be authentic, make it about them, and you don't have to worry about that. So that's my tidbit.
That's so.
Oh, Leah, I think you froze.
Why does she always look cute when she freezes? It's not fair.
I don't look that way.
Okay, Ken.
Oh boy. Okay, while we're waiting for Leah to come back, does anybody have any questions specifically? Oh, okay.
She's still frozen.
Yeah, she's still frozen.
Why is my?
Are you back?
So I'm hearing us say.
Oh man.
See, every time. Like, look at that picture.
I know. So cute. I think we've got you back, I think. What were you saying?
Am I alive?
Yeah.
What the heck was that? I love what Kim said about the 5 to 6 exposures, because it is a rare, very rare occasion that someone says after a one-on-one, "Yes, sign me up." So I'm just saying that because it took 4 to 5 exposures for Kim, for me. It took 4 to 5 exposures for Corinne. So expect a no after every time, and then see how you can follow up. That's where our follow-up comes in, and that's really where it's going to create a relationship and eventually get to a yes. So,
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I think, Leah, I blew you off probably 5. I think you invited me to probably 5 different workshops, and I never came. And then, so like I told you no so many times, and now here I am. And I have had people who after one or two, like after a one-on-one, will be like, I want to do this, and then dropped off the face of the map. Like they signed up so quickly, and then you, like what you said, Kim, they didn't know what they were getting into, and so I don't even know where they are. Like, so expect to hear no. And then the other thing I was thinking of, Kim, is you were talking about being uncomfortable. Is nothing good ever happens in your comfort zone. Like, it's comfortable, but you don't grow, and you don't learn anything new if you never move beyond what you know. And so there's just one other thing that I thought of. But yeah, to be uncomfortable, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's how you grow.
More fun.
Okay. Does anybody? So, any questions? Because we got like 5 minutes left, and then my free version of Zoom is gonna shut the meeting down. Okay. No questions. Okay. Well, thank you, Kim and Leah, for jumping on, and Grace and Chanel. I am so happy that you jumped on. It always warms my heart. 'Cause I'm like, you're here, you're doing it, and you're doing great, and you're here. So, it makes me happy.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you, Chanel.